All right, we're back in Burgundy, ready to play. 60% of the time, we win. Every time. Queue on up. Starting out on a win. Who doesn't love that opening? Got the triple rare deck in the house. You can bluff by having a spell, by entering full control. The last time I tried that, it auto-passed my turn. So no thanks. Rapid vision loss. Rapid vision loss. I can relate, brother. Good assortment of hands, but kind of a weak hand starting out. Definitely a keep though. And 3 lands in hand. I'm not going to play this tapped, as the +1 counter synergy is actually quite real in the deck. It does mean I may not be able to hit Shepherd of Heroes on curve, but it is a risk we're willing to take. Putting down the Dauntless Survivor 2/2. 1/1 with a counter. And looking good. So if I wanted to curve out on 4, I would play the tap land here. This looks alright. Blue-black with 2 mana open, most likely has anti-cognition or a flash rogue. Resolves. Past you. How does a blind man play Magic? Sight is a very key skill in Magic the Gathering. Very key. So this is interesting. I got double tap lands. I probably will keep Takedown in hand. It's a better spell. So go ahead and do combat. 3 colors. Black, blue, green. On curve. Lucky man over here. And going to be a bit slow. Having Stomper in hand, I believe I had this in hand early, is probably a good enough reason to have played tap lands. So in review, probably call that true. I could trade for the 2/2 or I could remove it right now. But I think trading with it is absolutely fine. Losing, these are both warriors, so it doesn't matter to me if one of them dies. But this is going to be very slow. My opponent is tapped out. And I can almost guarantee that he's going to be able to drop a flyer on nearly every turn. So curving into Veteran Adventurer and Kazandu Stomper, I can get back both of my non-basic lands. But I've had a couple turns now of doing nothing relevant on board, and they might just end up biting me in the bottom. Very suspicious. Keep it on 5. And honestly, my card quality is really high. It's really quite high. So it's hard to say which spell I would least care about being countered. I think it's going to be the Shepherd. I do think it's going to be the Shepherd. So getting Party down for 2 discounts this by 2. It's now a 4 mana, 5/5 Vigilance. Okay. Has his own 5/6. No reach there. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control when it attacks. Put a +1 counter on all creatures with +1 counters. Interesting. You may bounce 2 lands. They will be tap lands. The 6/5 plays really nicely with Rabid Bite. The problem being I can't do that in the same turn. I could Veteran and kill if he blocks. And I kind of like that a little bit more, but I missed the discount. So I sort of have to decide now. Which makes this a little bit awkward. And I'm going to take the discount. First main phase. He does block, giving us the Rabid Bite for the kill. And even though that is technically a 2-for-1, I wasn't going to get a whole lot of value out of Dauntless Survivor past that point. I would have gained counters off of the Reef, but still swinging in as a 3/3 or a 4/4 would not have been useful. Discounts kicker spells. Really slow rolling this. So I want to tap the lands I'm going to bounce. So guarantee I get those back. It's going to leave an untapped white mana, which is not so good. 3, 4, 5, 6. So no anti-cognition. That was a little bit risky. Get 2 spells back to my hand. So chumps, does he have an answer for the flyer? Okay. Got a -2 power. Pretty poor use of a card. You have a 1 more trick? +3/+3. Yeah, I suppose I can save my creature. Let's let it resolve. 5/5. Instant speed, put a +1 counter. So we spent 2 cards to not deal with any of my threats. Not so bad. And looking like it could be a pretty simple win at this point. So leaving the proper mana open, I'll need 2. One of those being a white mana. I can deal 4 damage off of takedown. So his blocks are going to be a little bit awkward for me. They're going to be a little bit awkward. So I can force blocks on both of these creatures. So I'm not actually afraid of the double block here. And then if I need to, I can turn combat off of the takedown. Deal damage equal to the number of creatures you control. And probably playing a little bit cautious. I think I could have dropped a single creature and swung for lethal, but go ahead and let that resolve. Oh, it's trample. Yeah, so just killing off the single blocker would have actually been lethal. but not a problem. A little bit rusty here coming back. But being carried by the power of the deck. Cannot complain. Give me the sweet, sweet monies. And I have a million commons and uncommon wildcards. It's a thing I will never be short of as a primarily draft player. Especially if you do this in paper, your collection of cardboard is never ending. Never ending. So earlier I noticed I was getting a little bit of harsh feedback from the microphone, and I think it's because Blue Yeti's taken sound from the top and not the front face of the microphone, causing that sort of distorted sound. Ooh, jeez. So a double mulligan is still not working out. The opponent is on the play. But I actually have really strong cards in hand. I'm going to keep this and mulligan a green drop on 4. Blue. My hope here being I don't get blown out too harshly countered. If this hits, it can win the game. If he hasn't... Ooh. So that could be really scary. I could be taking 6 damage next turn. Got my green land. Time to find out if I can stabilize. I'm gonna leave 4 open. No, he taps down for the... Oh god, this card. Cherrick's the Raging Isle. 17 wall. Spend 3 mana, gets +X, -X. Till the end of turn, equal number of islands you control. So for 3 mana... So 4, assuming he has the land drop next turn, 5. He can turn this into a 5/12. It's kind of brutally, insanely powerful. Brutally, insanely powerful. I'm not a fan of, like, these auto-win cards that just don't die. How slow is he gonna play, though? No attacks. No attacks. Okay. I really hope he just lets me back into this game. Counterspell. Living Tempest flashes in a 3/3 flyer. Okay. Scry X. So the difference between a landfall trigger on my next turn, I can either create a 2/2 cat or put a +1 counter on every creature I control. So I'm actually gaining more power by hitting 3 creatures than creating a cat. And almost did that in the wrong order. And I think I just have to take damage if he attacks. My best bet here is to close out the game as quickly as I can. I totally forgot about the vigilance, which is insane. So you can attack and be pretty much impervious. I still like that attack, a double block in the 6/6. My creatures are like infinitely valuable on board. So taking risky attacks is actually a quick way to lose the game. That's actually insane. Vastwood could be so nuts. So I can do, man, I can do some insane stuff. Get a creature in play. And I'm going to pump himself. All my creatures are going to grow wildly right now. They're going to grow wildly. And this would be even more insane kicked, but I think this is insane enough. Let's get 2 forest in play. And I'm just going to try to close out the game. So the most, he can sticky tap something that blocks here. He can double tap, so he can block for a total of 7 damage, and he can sticky tap 1 creature on the ground. And I do need my defenders quite badly. I think the worst thing that could happen is, what was it called? Confluence. Take control of target creature. It's probably going to be the worst play for me. But I will seriously consider just killing off Cleric of Depths with Rabid Bite. And then swinging in with the party. 1 more land would actually give me quite prime attackers. So 9/9, that can get a tap down. This is my only answer in hand. I can hit 70 in the air every turn. Why not? So he doesn't want to tap down the 9/9. That's interesting. And now I can just kill off that wall. I feel like the best use you can get out of Cleric is to sticky tap a 9/9. Like, what else is this card really doing for you? He no longer has a maximum hand size. And he drew a ton of cards. This is going to be an insane turn. Landfall, pump everything, get a +1 counter on all creatures in play. And smash you in the face. I think this is guaranteed lethal off of the trample. Oh, is there no trample? I keep thinking Baloth is trample. Boom, 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 boom. That cannot feel good. Cannot feel good. Someone message LSV right now. Felidar Revival performing as an A+ rank card. Amazing start. Can we sweep the draft? Let's find out. Let's find out. Do I ever want a good song right now? Everything gets demonetized on the YouTubes. Check out Hey Now by London Grammar. Really great song. So 3-land opener. Looks like I can ramp this turn, and I'm on the play. Can red answer me? Hellspawn. Nice. Pay 3 gets +2 power at the end of turn. I suppose I could have faked the attack. I don't think I'm blocking here, so it would have been better to bluff the attack with 3 lands open. +1/2 trample on your turn gets +1 power for each creature in your party. Currently 1. Ooze is actually really sweet. So he places a counter when he attacks. Put a +1 counter on each attacking creature. So I can play him as a 3/3. Next turn he attacks. This becomes a 3/3. This becomes a 4/4. Which is pretty competitive stat line. But I think ramping on this turn is a much better use of my mana. And I will block the 1/2 if it comes to it. You can pump him if you want. I'm not really hurting for life. So he has another play this turn. No. No, he does not. So 6 mana. Actually, I have much more than 6 mana. I have some interesting plays here. So I have 7. 5 and 3 is 8. This will discount. I'll still only have 1 warrior. So a little bit of awkward mana. So I think the longer this match ends up playing out, the better these cards are going to perform. He hasn't spent any of the answers in his hand. So if I'm expecting some kind of tricky play, I want it to be on my weaker creatures. Shepherd, 3/4 flyer. No, 5/4 with haste. "5/4 with haste. Oh yeah, don't attack. Just do not attack. No, no, don't attack. Do not. Is it worth a double block? It probably is. I'll double block here. He only kills off one of my creatures. Sadly, I lose the better creature. But I'm trading a 3/3 for his 6 drop. So pretty good for me. And I can discount Veteran Venture. I can play them both anyway. I probably should have attacked and then kept that in hand, because now he can block with the charger to kill off my beast. Totally tapped out. Or he chumps, blocks here, and kills off the 2/2. I think either way I'm losing a 2-drop. So we'll get value out of these while I can. And the ceiling on Fireblade Charger is insane. If you use a combat trick in tandem with this card, you can get pretty crazy value. So killing off a 2-drop is probably the lowest The least amount of value he would have gotten out of Charger. But getting land flooded, I don't really want to play a 6/5 trample. 1, 2, so 3, 5, 6. It does clear his board if he blocks. And I'm actually going to start collecting lands for my landfall triggers. Question being, how many do I hold on to? I think 2 in hand is fine. Pressure point. Tap target creature, draw a card. Okay. The more he trades off right now, the better. He had really good blocks for the 6/5 with that 3/1 in play. I think going 1 for 1 on cards is really good for me. Felidar. Another Charger. So I'll keep the 1 toughness guy in hand, although I could actually... Turning this into a 3/2 is really good. He has a total of 2, 3, 4, 5 power in play. So pumping either of these doesn't change. He actually has a reach of 1. He can deal a total of 6 damage through blocks. So pumping either of these doesn't really change combat. But the 3/2 actually works out nicely. So I want to force plays and blocks while he doesn't have mana open and he doesn't have resources in hand. Because being primarily a ground deck, I do need to force my opponent to use his creatures. So like trades Fireblade Charger for a 2-drop is the floor of that card, and the ceiling is quite high. And I got 2 kills without losing either of my big bodies. I suppose technically the floor is dealing 1 damage to face, but I think you understand. I think you get my meaning. You'll have to forgive me if I seem sluggish. Had a massive seafood dinner for the autumn festival celebration. It's quite wonderful. Quite wonderful. Sapling, I can kick to get back kicker cards, so bringing back Vastwood Surge is actually insanely strong. I need 8 mana to kick it, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It does mean playing all my lands. So he can deal 3, 5, 6 damage now. The double block is actually really bad for me. If I attack in with the Venturer. But if he wants to trade his 2 best creatures, my 6/5, I'm definitely okay with that. So by playing land, I can kick this next turn. And that's quite powerful too. Powerful and unnecessary. 2 lands in play, plus all my creatures. And swinging for a pile of damage. Not bad at all. Starting to see a trend here. A trend of surrender votes. I'm kind of curious if this has anything to do with the season resetting, that I've had like a relatively easy time in the games. Going down from like plat to silver. 4-0 in the draft, essentially breaking even. Cannot complain. Did you know you can mute people? At least it's not League of Legends, where muting is mandatory. The game of troll or be trolled. Corgi Porgy? Corgi Porgy. On the play again. I think I've been really lucky with how often I end up on the play with a very solid opening hand. Marassa works best. Actually, I was mistaking that for my rare. I was about to say in tandem with... Oh, I got the 1-1 double strike. That's interesting. Obviously works best in tandem with other kicker cards, so I'm going to probably hold on to that card. That's an extremely high value card you just played. Landfall, get a +1 counter and gain flying. Who I could kill. I'm actually going to give him the opportunity to block my 3-1. Because that card's just insanely strong. I'm perfectly fine with the trade. It's one of the better cards in his deck. So I can ramp out 2 lands. So sitting on 6 lands next turn. And I have a few options. I can kick to get back Vastwood, but I probably want to get back... Well... 3-3 on board, he's about to start ramping the Prowler. Playing this and not playing it makes no difference. Go ahead and get my 6-5 in play. And submit 0. So the other line of play was just getting the lands down and bouncing them later so that I can kick Vastwood Surge. This kicks for 7, which is very strong. And I can deal 2 damage, 3 if I play a creature. So this is going to keep growing. It's going to quickly become unmanageable. If I pump the 6-5, it means blocking, double blocking loses both creatures, but he also has 5 mana open. And I think kicking the Sentinel is just... Do I not have enough? 7, 3, 6. I do not have enough. Alright, well that changes things. 7, 3, 5, 2. And everything adds up to 7. 2/2 double strike. Alright, let's find out what spells he has. Deal 3 damage to the 3/3. No pause in combat. Now either of these will kill off the Felidar. Assuming no combat trick. $10 damage to face. And one more land, I can kick Skyclave and have a 4/5 flyer. Not at all afraid of the race. Although maybe I should be. Oh. 3, 6, 7. So I'm pretty close to being able to cast one more mana, cast Basswood Surge kicked. Not that it changes a lot at this moment in time. But I will look for the trade. Okay, so I kill off the 4/5. His kill threat is gone, and I can put down an evasive flyer. Wow. Gate Colossus, not bad at all. No trample. I win in 3 attacks. Okay. Not bad. I'm gold. I'm a golden boy. And this might actually be a concise video. A brief, to the point run. Wow. Non-stop. 5-0. Keep it coming. Going for that 40-minute episode target. Interesting hand. My opponent goes first. I have double green opener, and this looks like a mulligan. Much better. Still not very strong early. And I will throw back a land. And get down my tap land turn 1. Even with like 2 landfall cards in my hand. It's not something I really want to hold on to. Equipment is unique in this format as they all come into play equipped. And I actually hope that's a feature from like now on. Equipment has always been like pretty weak and limited. But the fact that it equips when you plays it just completely changes the power of those style of cards. Meow kitty. About to double landfall my territorial Skycat, which is a little bit dangerous this early in the game. So he has a colorless mana. I think this card is so bad. You can only use colored mana for these specific creature types and nothing else. So only permanents of that exact type, which ends up being pretty painful. Okay, so get the double landfall cards in play. And a 5/4 kitty. Can close out games pretty fast. I can put down a 3/3, but it's not really doing anything other than staving off 2 damage. I think I wait. The problem being, like, it's a good card to equip the Scythe onto. Skyclave Pickaxe if he manages to kill off the 5/4, but in green, I don't think he can kill off a 5/4. He needs like Arbor Elf, Rabid Bite. Wow. And openly surrenders off of Scythe Cat into Pickaxe. Just nutty. Maybe this will be one video. 5-0. Going for 7 wins. Gonna do our best. What a stampede of value. And this is like the color and deck type that you see passed around the table a lot, is the green value kicker, like +1 counter synergy deck. I did luck out getting triple rares in the drafting period. And man, have I been fortunate on lands. I've also started a lot of these games on the play, which helps quite a bit. Bad horse. Time to show this pony what's what. Red opener. Kazul's Fury. No plays so far. Wouldn't be surprised if we lose the Pack Beast or the Myriad Riptide. So red-blue kicker is a little bit weird. It's a little bit strange. I can block that if I get the 3/3 in play. But I think that I don't block a kicked Riptide, which is always painful. Royal? So the big scary thing there would have been into the Royal. Bounce a creature, draw a card. This becomes a 5/5. But if we play the curve out game, I'm doing pretty well. So I can't use this as a target for Rabid Bite or it gets sacrificed. It creates 4 1/1s. A little bit suspicious. Little bit suspicious. This isn't going to get a whole lot of value. So I'll let him combat trick. It looks like a big shiny rare, but it's actually just a 4/4 body in this deck. And now we find out if we can punish him for a slow play. And I can get kicker back off of the Marasa. Which is a fun interaction. It's going to bounce my 5/5, hit me in the face real hard. Interesting. So if I play this, put a land down, then I can kill off his guy. Which I think is actually quite good. It's very, very easy to just die to Riptide. And if he wants to block the beast, I'm perfectly fine with that. It is a good blocker, like I am trading damage, but I'm also not super afraid of being raced. Got the 4/5. So a couple of plays here. Couple of plays. But I like just developing my own adventure. And I probably should have done that second main. Do you take 6? Okay, deal 1 damage. That card becomes exiled. He could have used it to kill off Veteran. But he has an answer for that. Kicked Bobble Snare? Yes, sir. Not looking so hot anymore. That's pretty amazing, though. So I have... that's 2 of the party types. That leaves me with 2 mana. Still pretty solid. Go to 9 life. And I could just start racing him. I can hit him for a lot of damage next turn. So I'm threatening 8 damage on attacks next turn. Can he kick? So if he kicks Eruption, I die to that play. Playing this as a land pumps my guy. So I can force blocks here. I can kick this guy to get back my 4/4. For a total of 5 mana. I can pump this to be a 6/5. So going for the 2-turn win, I might have lost this game already. And I will just play this as a blocker. Seven mana, 3, 4, 5, 6. Scorch Rider with haste. It's not enough. Oh, the trample's enough, though. So what does that do? Yeah, I just lost. Trample is enough. Oh, no. So I take 4. Haha, Inordinate Rage. GG. GG, what a scrappy game. Trading blows back and forth. Good stuff. Looks like it's going to be probably 2 videos under 50 minutes. Pretty ideal. I hate going over that hour mark. And 2 more chances at the maximum number of wins. Timbo Slice 08. I go first. 3-land opener with aggressive picks. Core Battlemaster has somewhat limited synergies in my deck. But I do have enough cards that place +1 counters that I should be able to get value out of the Blade Master. Menace Lifelink. Interesting. So the double block is actually really good for me. So I will hold back blockers. First strike is an additional phase of combat that happens before normal combat. So I can double block off of the Menace and kill his guy. The question being, does he know that? So I could drop 4/4, or I could develop my own landfall guy. I like having this down while landfall matters. It's something that falls off much harder later in the game. It means I don't have good blockers. But I don't think I'm at risk of losing a race at this point in the game. So he's party of 2 right now, Cleric Warrior. He might have a discounted kill spell. Goes for the double attacks. There aren't a lot of scenarios where this turns out bad for me. It's almost always a 2 for 2. I think he thought I would block very differently. That can't feel good. It's like the best card in your deck. Cannot feel good. Ooh, and I could do some crazy things on future turns. Crazy things. Playing on the pain. There it is. Deadly Alliance. Discounted by 1 for each member of your party. What I like to see. And that's the power of this card. Like, it's a 4 mana common that threatens lethal in, like, sometimes fewer than 4 attacks. It's kind of insane. Three attacks off this with landfall can be 18 damage by itself. Ouch. So party matters actually matters a lot, no pun intended, at this point in the game. Sitting at 4 or 6 mana, I would like to kick this. I'll probably hold on to that spell. So he is 0 non-basic, so kicking this actually does nothing. +1 counter for each non-basic land your opponents control. And we're playing the value game. He's 5 cards in hand. Has been able to bounce premium removal from his graveyard. But it costs 5 mana right now. 5 mana right meow. Nothing, nobody. Gonna go ahead and pump core. I basically just want as many creatures as possible to trade and clear up his board. Ouch. So Blood Beckoning back, Oblivion, if it... Why wouldn't you kick that? That was horrible. What? That was terrible. So he does not kick Blood Beckoning. He takes back Null Priest. When you kick this card, it resurrects a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. He didn't kick it. He played it to Rabid Bite my 2-drop. That was actually horrible. So I have one member in my party. This is still worth playing. I wouldn't have been able to block this anyway due to the menace, so he's always gaining 2 life a turn. Can't really be avoided. But we have 7 damage in play. It's going to force a block this turn, unless I kill it. That will be game. All right. 1 loss in the run. Going 7-1. Pretty awesome. Easily the best run that I've had. That felt so decisive. That felt crazy powerful. Sanctum of Stone Fangs. What a deck, what a deck. Honestly, like, I don't think it's difficult to get a deck similar in power level to this. Obviously, minus the rares, that's always just a random outcome, whether you see good rares or not. But they weren't really cards that carried the deck. Like, this can be replaced with any decent 4-drop. Quite a middling card. Orin Reef can be broken. Or abused, but I definitely didn't abuse this card in any of my games. And beyond that, like, Felidar Retreat is a game winner. That's an A+. It's a bomb rare. But beyond that, it was a pretty reasonable deck. And I think a lot of these cards are often open during the draft. Just pretty high consistency, showing the power of landfall. Canopy Baloth, absolute all-star, in combination with Skyclave. And then ramping off of Vastwood Surge. Huge power of the deck was just getting back to kick cards off of the Marasa Sproutling to ramp by 2 lands and then get massive triggers off of landfall. Absolutely huge. But great stuff. Go and claim those prizes. It does that. That's happened in 3 of my drafts so far. It just skips the claim prize screen. But anyway, thank you for watching. This has been Rational Magic. Leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bring you limited content each and every day.